All right. Hi, everyone, and thanks for watching Season Gaming. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo E3 conference that just took place. Wow, we were kind of blown away by the amount of content, amount of software, and we'll talk about the meat of their conference, which was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But let's kind of kick it off on just your general thoughts. I mean, I know you're a massive Nintendo fan.
So not as big of a Nintendo fan as some or many. Smash Brothers I enjoy, but it is not my favorite game in the world. So the fact they spent, a good 20 minutes maybe?
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
Which was great. I thought that was fantastic. Just didn't interest me personally as much. So I thought it was good. A lot of third-party support, which was good to see. A lot of games shown like that. No filler like we saw with Sony last night, which was good like that. Only thing disappointing really was we were hoping for some other big announcements, which we didn't get. So we'll probably touch on that. But overall, I thought it was good, not great.
Yeah, we'll touch on it at the end. Me being a massive Nintendo fan, I thought they killed it with Super Smash Bros. We really didn't know what to expect. There had been a lot of information out that they were using a lot of the same assets, but they took a deep dive on the game, and we'll talk about that when we get to there. But let's talk about kind of the sequence of events that took place during their event. Keep in mind, this was not at a conference with a crowd around, and there was a pre-recorded video with a lot of video that was taken, I guess, prior to E3 and recorded with Reggie and everybody. But let's talk briefly about the thing that they kicked it off with. So there's a game called Daemon X Machina, and it had kind of an Armored Core / Nier Automata feeling to it when I was watching it. Very cartoony yet serious, I would say. It had kind of a serious tone to it, and very almost cel-shaded. So looked really cool. Very fast combat, very fast movement. There was stuff where you were flying around, yet where you were still based on the ground in numerous areas. So we didn't get much of a detail as to how long the development has been or anything. It just simply showed the footage, and then simply coming in 2019.
Yeah, and that's what I want to see more of. I thought the look of it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Interested in the vibe it gave off, but I want to see more of the details if it's going to have, what kind of depth it has, the mechanics of the game, things like that. But that was a cool announcement to kick off with.
Yeah, no menus or UI whatsoever, so just a lot of footage. So that looked cool. They kicked it off with that. They immediately jumped into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and this was DLC that's coming out here in September. A ton of story in there. We kind of knew what it was when it first kicked off. We just didn't know what it was going to have, or if it was another type of game that was kicking off from the franchise. But it looks pretty cool. More story. I mean, if you're into this game already, you'll be more excited that there's more content coming.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't played it. I've heard good things. I know people have put tens and hundreds of hours into it. So expansion for it, good. And it's coming soon.
One of the better RPGs for the Switch right now. That is first party. I guess you could call it to an extent. It's exclusive to the Switch. And then after that, they talked about Pokemon, the new Pokemon Let's Go game, which is already announced before E3. You have the Pikachu and Eevee type of game that you can have with you. They also touched on, I guess you'd call it a peripheral, the Pokeball. And it is going to have Mew included inside of it. So if you're a big Pokemon person, Mew was kind of a big deal when Pokemon was kind of new, and then came Mewtwo. That is all coming out November 16th, 2018. So the crowded month of November for Nintendo looks pretty safe for the Nintendo fans. But if you're going to compete with all the other big software this fall, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah, we were kind of joking about those releases later this fall, but I think this is so unique, and it's so unique to the Switch that I think they'll be safe there. And Pokemon has its own its own universe pretty much, so it'll sell no matter what.
Yeah, and this game has a lot of the Pokemon Go vibes, but on the Switch. So it looks pretty cool there, and you can also kind of connect them via the API that exists between the two of them. So that's pretty cool. If you're a big Pokemon Go fan and you have a Switch, this might be right down your alley. It's a lot of fun, but nothing really new here, just a lot more of what they were talking about. Reggie touched on it, and he introduced it, so cool there. One of the ones that we're really excited about is a new Mario Party. So it's simply called Super Mario Party. The way they showed the footage / I guess almost a commercial was a real life footage of real people walking around with the Switch. And then they simply put the Switches on a tabletop in different configurations. And then you could play the game in different ways and connect them. So like if we were to connect these laptops, you could have like a screen going this way and another way. They showed a ton of mini games in it.
Yeah.
Mainly 4-player. I didn't see any. I mean, Mario Party is typically only 4-player. But there was definitely a lot of cool things. You could use your Pro controller or the Joy-Cons. which is really cool. And we're super excited for that. That's actually also coming out this year, October 5th, 2018. So that's something to be super excited about. Anything you want to touch on?
Yeah, that was probably the biggest thing I was excited for, actually, because I love Mario Party. I thought it looked really good. The mini games look cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that one coming in early October. The only thing is they showed some things working with the Joy-Cons with motion, running and stuff. So not a big fan of that. Hopefully you can just use your Pro controllers or what have you. But I thought it looks good. Yeah,
if it's streamlined really well, it'll be good. Unfortunately, in a lot of these games, the peripheral movement of the controller is not the best when you're playing competitively with your friends. But it's all fun and games, so it's not going to do anything too bad. Another one, Fire Emblem. I believe it was Tree Houses or something like that. I may have taken this note incorrectly, but
they were running really fast.
Yeah. If you were to look at our notes, we were typing as fast as we could, and when we get to the trailer reel that they showed, we had a hard time keeping up with everything. We typed pretty fast, but it was still hard to keep up with it and still try to watch the trailer at the same time. So Fire Emblem looking really good. However, what I guess followed Fire Emblem is the big news that we kind of assumed was going to come out. We heard it through rumors. Fortnite is out on the Switch, and the crazy thing about it, it is out actually right now. Yeah, so Nintendo started right at 9 PST, and it ran for about almost 40 minutes, and it's available at 10 PST. So if you're listening to this live right now, it is available for you to download. It is free. It'll be interesting to see how our accounts line up. So if you're on Xbox, PC, or PlayStation, you're more than likely going to have to create another ID for your Switch. We haven't actually even had a chance to open up our Switches in the last couple days. But we'll more than likely give it a try tonight and see how it looks from the trailer. It seems to be running pretty well. I mean, Fortnite's not a very demanding game, but it looks pretty cool. But kind of a surprise. I didn't think it was going to be ready today. Maybe sometime in early fall or something, as we don't know anything about their online service.
Yeah, and we joked about, or I should say I joked about the game being online in our latest pre-E3 Bitcast, but Reggie did say that it's online right now, play with your friends, and I would just imagine they're just using Epic's infrastructure, their server base. I don't exactly know how it works. I don't know if there's voice chat. He just said you can play online, so we'll have to experiment with it.
Yeah, they also said you can play with people in the same room, so maybe you can squat up that way via some certain way with direct connection or something. So we don't know how the online configuration is going to work, but my guess, without even looking at it, is just randomly log in with 100 other people, and then there's no chat or anything. I mean, you don't really chat with strangers anyways in Fortnite when you're playing, but if you're squatted up, you do. And there's a lot of communication needed. But so cool. That's something that was kind of a leaked / rumor, and it did come true. That followed up by Overcooked 2. If you have played Overcooked on any console, Overcooked is extremely fun. That is releasing August 7th, and there's a whole bunch of new environments, new recipes for, like I'm talking about some kind of food or anything, but it is. So there's new recipes that were not in Overcooked 1. And then there seem to be some new type of characters you can play as. And so that's a very fun game.
Yeah. Played it a lot on Xbox, 4 players. It's definitely a blast. I hope they add some more variety. They said they did, new ways to play, new characters, new levels. Just find people who are competent.
Yeah, it can get really hard if you're not communicating well. It can be a very tough game.
Yes, we didn't get very far with my family. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I've got some buddies that come over, and we're all gamers, and we struggle in some parts too, just with the communication. But super excited about that. Something that you were really excited about was Hollow Knight.
Let's be clear, it's not Shovel Knight. Hollow Knight looked really good. One of those awesome kind of new 2D platformers, beautiful art style, and it's gotten a lot of praise since it's been out on other platforms, coming to the Switch and available today, right?
Yeah, available today. The art style looks awesome. It does look like one of those difficult type of platformers. Yes. So if you're more into the casual platformer, this may or not be for you, just depending on if you're into it. If you are, download this right away. It looks fantastic. We haven't seen any reviews or anything, but it looks cool from a visual perspective.
Yeah, I'll talk about it more because I'm probably going to download it today and I'll play it on the flight home. So
yep. Other stuff that looked pretty cool was they're going to be having some tournaments going on with Super Smash Brothers at E3 and after E3. there's also a big Splatoon 2 tournament going on. So they're really pushing that competitive nature of Nintendo games, which is kind of cool to hear. And I'm glad they're doing it. I mean, there'll be some. I mean, Smash has been going. I think there's still pro gamers playing.
Oh yeah, Smash is at Evo every year.
Yeah, from GameCube, and also
Yes.
and also 64 Nintendo 64 tournaments are still going on, which is kind of bonkers, but makes sense. Octopath Traveler, they showed more. There's some good details from that, and the fact that there is a new demo to download. The save file from the previous demo connects to this demo.
Oh.
And what's that?
No, the new demo is Thursday. Your
Correct.
progress in that will carry
okay.
to the launch.
I was for some reason thinking all the demos would connect the save file to the final game. So it's just this demo then, and that will connect to the game that releases on July.
Gosh, I forget the date now.
Yeah, for
July.
We'll just say July for now. As I said, the dates were kind of all over the place. But June 14th is when the new demo is available to download. So this Thursday, you'll be able to play that. We're super excited for that game, and it looks really cool.
We both have the collector's edition pre-ordered, I believe.
We do. Yeah. We do, and I hope it's as good as we've been getting excited for it. So that one looks cool. After that, they showed more Starlink, which was initially announced at Ubisoft's conference. The big reason this is probably touching on Nintendo is because you have Star Fox as a playable spaceship / character in the game. We did see a little bit of different footage, but it was pretty quick. They didn't take a deep dive or anything into it. So that was pretty cool. And then after that became the massive trailer reel
montage.
It was actually super quick, and there's a lot of good things coming from it. We'll be super quick on some of the stuff that stood out to us. We knew Captain Toad's Tractor was coming out. That's a port from the Wii U. We're excited about that one. It should be really fun with the motion controls too. There was another game called Arena of Valor, which looks pretty cool. Minecraft. There was a new type of Minecraft that's coming.
Crash?
Crash Bandicoot is coming around the corner. Dragonball Fighters is a big one that has been rumored to be coming to the Switch, and there it is. We did see it in there. Just Dance 2019 we kind of knew about already. There's another interesting game that looked like it was out of the Nintendo DS world, but it's Sushi Striker. Funny in my notes, I had Sushi Stinker, which I was typing it incorrectly, but that is not it. Donkey Kong DLC from Mario Rabbids, already touched on before. So that's some pretty big games there. Ark struggles on some high-end PCs in some points. It struggles even on the Xbox One X when you're pushing the graphics really high. We have no idea what it's going to look like on the Switch.
I don't know how they're going to do it, honestly. It runs like junk to keep it nice on a normal Xbox One and PS4, so I don't know how they're going to do it on the Switch. Yeah,
so we're not really sure what to think of it, period, on the Switch. We finally saw some more Wolf 2. That's another game that we have no idea how it's going to run on the Switch. It looks really good on the One X and the PS4 Pro, and it looks actually very different from the standard consoles. And then on PC, if you run an ultra setting, it's a whole different game compared to some of the intro-level consoles. So for them to put it on the Switch, I have a feeling we're going to be similar to the Doom product that released, which was very downscaled and struggled even at 720p in many areas. So we'll see what that's like. However, good for Nintendo Switch gamers. They can kind of get something that they have not seen or played before from Wolf 2. It was one of our favorite games from last year.
Yeah, it's one of our top 5.
Yep. And then came the big bombshell that we knew was coming. We just didn't know it was going to be in as deep content and deep detail as it was. Super Smash Brothers finally has a full title name. It's called Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I've kind of categorized it as the definition of a deep dive at a conference. It went on for about 20 minutes.
That's what I wanted to see from Sony on their games last night.
Exactly. Yeah, because they mentioned ahead of time that there was going to be a deep dive on these games.
Take notes.
Yeah, it was nuts. So the main director of the game came on, obviously speaking Japanese, and then he kind of introduced it, and then it went straight to footage of the game. And then it was translated into English, obviously. And they touched on they did touch on every character that is playable in the game. And the simple side of what characters are there, it's every Super Smash Brothers character ever in the entire franchise is going to be in this game in some form. So, for example, when you pick the Pokemon trainer, you get to control 3 different Pokemon. In the most recent Wii U game of Super Smash Brothers, those were individual characters. So they are definitely lumping a lot of things into it. Snake is back. We have 3 different variations of Link. There's 2 variations of Zelda. There's other
Fox and Wolf.
Yeah, Fox and Wolf. Wolf has not been in the game since Melee, I believe. So he's been missing.
10 years, I think.
Yeah, it's been a long time since he's been there. But I'm not going to go through every single character, despite
it's a lot.
Despite typing these out as soon as they were coming out. I was going nuts. I have tons of spelling errors, I'm sure. 8-player battles are back, and that's going to be kind of nuts.
Hope it's on.
What I mentioned before was that there was going to be a lot of shared assets from the Wii U game, and you could definitely see that, but you could also see that it was very polished.
Yeah,
and they showed some footage from the Wii U side by side to the Switch, and the textures are cleaned up with a lot more clarity, to say the least. But looks really cool. Mario and Peach did have some funny outfits. So in the Odyssey game, they've got the wedding attire. They had that as well for Peach and Mario. And then in all of the recent games that have released in recent time, if there was skins for those characters like Bayonetta, Cloud, even Ryu had kind of his different outfit colors. Those were all available. Some other things that were interesting was that some of these characters have what they call Ekko characters. So Peach has an Ekko character of Daisy, who's another one of the Nintendo characters. And they have a very similar moveset, and they still take up one slot for that character in the character selection screen. But you can pick that person, and it actually has their voice, their costume, their characteristics will play as well.
How about the bombshell, though? All the amiibos work.
Sense a little trolling going on over here. Yep. All amiibos work, past and present. You'll get some bonuses from those as well,
including non-Smash Brothers amiibos. They said.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's some kind of cool stuff.
Pretty cool.
Other things that I did want to touch on there was that there's these new, or they're not really too new, but there's assist trophies, which you can have been in previous Smash games before. But there's new characters that are in those assist trophies that are not playable, but like Bomberman's one of them. We have Nintendogs, which is that old Nintendo mobile game that show up, and there's over 50 of them. So there's tons of stuff going on there. They did mention that GameCube controller compatibility is going to be available for it as well.
But you have to buy the new one. It's not the old ones.
Correct. So if you're a GameCube player, and you're a Smash player, and you want to play with that, it is going to be available to be played on the Switch. So that controller ability is going to be there. And that was pretty much all the big thing. They did mention characters now have facial animations based on being hit or taunting, things like that, which is kind of one of their new things. But we could probably talk for the next 30 minutes on Smash of what we saw for characters, movesets, changes.
Yeah. And they went into, which I thought was really cool, especially for fans of the series. They went into a lot of detail around mechanic changes.
Yep.
So the way shielding works and blocking works, and damage on one-to-one battles versus group battles. And for the people who play it competitively or who play it more seriously at home, even with friends, where you compete with friends, I thought that was excellent.
Yeah, and they also touched on the new animations for the final Smash moves that a lot of characters have.
Bowser's looked awesome.
Bowser's look crazy. Yeah. King Dedede looked crazy. He takes him into some like cage match and beats him with different hammers. There's new Mega Man final combos where they have all the Mega Man characters from the past, including a couple of new ones. Yep. So a lot of effort into this game. It's kind of nuts that this has been in development for a while under simply a rumor, while it's been being worked on for probably a while. We can assume.
Definitely a while. Yeah.
And we did get a firm launch date, so we're looking at December 7th this year. So
good,
right around the corner. A game not in October and November, it's coming in December. So finally a December game. Nintendo was probably super smart about that launch date.
Because whether you're even like us, you own all the consoles, right? You're buying this.
Yeah.
There's nothing else in December.
You are, yeah, and we're hoping that maybe there'll be some online talk around that time, because this is going to be probably, I guess, the poster child for a online game at that moment.
And I bet you that plays into December.
Yep.
Because we'll see online in September. Gives them 3 months to work out the bugs. Nintendo probably needs more than that, but I don't say that smartly. But Nintendo's not the best with online. We've talked about, but this is the key game, as you just said, right? Yep. So for someone like me who's not a big Smash player, if I can go online even by myself and just play with 7 other people, it'll be a day one buy for me.
Yep. So let's briefly talk about omissions that may have been leaked. So, actually, really quick. So that's it for Smash.
No. You forgot the character they introduced at the end.
Oh, yeah. Let's not move away too fast. So there was a new character release we were hoping for. Which one was it?
Character. We were hoping for Banjo. Yeah. Banjo didn't show up anywhere at E3.
Yeah. Or any just third-party characters from the Sony side or Nintendo side, or Xbox side,
Yeah,
or rare characters that have had relationships with Nintendo in the past. past? Nothing. So we did get a new character from the Metroid universe, character by the name of Ridley, who's, I guess, the main bad guy for Samus.
Yeah.
You'll see is actually the main. If you remember the Super Nintendo cover art from a long time ago, Ridley is on the front of that. He's like a pterodactyl, like dragon-looking character with wings. He's got a long beak and head, and then wings. And I don't even know how you explain that kind of character.
You can stop.
Yeah, it was a good attempt, but kind of tough. But he looks pretty cool in the games and even some of the final moves. He's a massive character, but they've kind of scaled him to fit into
he's almost like Bowser now.
Yeah, he's like a Bowser size. And in the Mario game, Bowser's pretty big, so they kind of did the same thing. So it looks cool. That's what it is so far. I'm guessing we're going to see some DLC characters somewhere down the line when the game finally releases. But I'm sure we'll hear more about that even during this week at E3 from what is actually filming right now, which is a Nintendo Treehouse. So I'm sure they'll talk about it some more. But as I started a second ago, let's go ahead and talk about our emissions, and then we'll close it out. So we had a lot of rumors. There was apparently a leaked memo for Treehouse employees that is proven to be false, completely false. We were actually talking last night that we think Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are just putting out fake news just to mess with people and try to get people to guess. A lot of the secrets and leaks have come true, but there's a lot that have been missing from E3 altogether. But let's talk about a few of them. So you want to kick off a couple of them?
Yeah, so no Metroid Prime, right? I think that was the one we both anticipated the most or wanted to see the most, so nothing there. No Bayonetta 3, which is already announced for the Switch. Maybe they'll show that during this week or the Treehouse or something, but kind of shocked we didn't see that at all. The rumors, of course, were a Punch-Out, which we didn't see at all either. The other thing, and I know you've got other few titles that were rumored, but if you think about just third-party big announcements, if you look at like Microsoft's conference, all those crazy big third-party announcements, I was kind of racking my brain. We knew Fortnite was coming. We did get the one at the start. I forget the name already. The very start of the conference, the mech-looking one.
Demon.
Ex Machina. But nothing else. There was really no other big third-party support. There's ports, which we saw, plenty of. Most of them we knew were coming.
Yeah, third-party ports. Yeah,
but nothing big. So kind of a shame there. I was hoping for at least something big.
Yeah, so if you mentioned no Metroid, we actually had it on our trivia thing. Would we see Metroid gameplay?
I can't remember what it said. I think I said no to that.
I think I said yes.
You did,
like an idiot. And we didn't see Metroid at all. Not even a trailer or maybe a trailer with in-engine footage or something. Nothing at all. Bayonetta 3, also nothing. We didn't see anything at all in that forum whatsoever. No gameplay, nothing. Star Fox game was on that leaked memo, or not leaked, I guess it was photoshopped or whatever. Another one you mentioned, Punch-Out. We were also potentially looking for a new F-Zero racer to combat, I guess, Wipeout to an extent. No Fallout Anniversary, which was touched on.
And those rumors were beyond the leak, right? Like we heard that rumor from everywhere, either Fallout 4 coming to the Switch or Fallout 3 remastered, which we didn't see anywhere, anywhere on E3. So yeah, I mean, a lot of these rumors just haven't come true. And no N64 Mini.
Yeah, no N64 Mini. I was completely wrong there. Well, let's be clear on the technicality.
No, we're not doing that.
I think N64 Mini will still be released sometime, or the announcement sometime during E3. So maybe at a Treehouse event, maybe something like that. No, maybe. One thing that I think was a mistake from Nintendo from E3 is they didn't touch on any more on their online service.
Yeah.
So
come on.
We have an idea of what's coming. It's been talked about kind of as to, I guess, the NES ports that you get on a monthly basis. We don't know anything else whatsoever about the online service. And as you mentioned, with Super Smash Brothers coming out in December, the online service is due out sometime in December. Maybe September.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll have it ironed out by December. But we really don't know much about it. And I think this was a good platform for them to kind of talk about their online service. And even crazier, the fact that they had a longer conference than previous years. They spent a lot of time on Super Smash and not a lot of time on anything else, really. So.
And I love what we said. I love the deep dive into Super Smash. But how are we in the middle of June, right? You're only a couple months from online, and we're still not talking about it. Hopefully something this week, but we need to know a little more detail. I think.
Yeah,
I'm really concerned about that, especially considering they don't have any server infrastructure, right? Like Mario Kart and Splatoon, they are peer-to-peer connections, and in an 8-player Smash Brother competitive game, when you've got people from all over, where frames, competitive gamers look all the way down to the single frames, especially in a fighting game. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens more from Nintendo. As we kind of mentioned, the way Nintendo does it is they have their video that they show. It's pre-recorded, everything's ready, and then they simply broadcast that. And then after that, they go directly to what they call Nintendo Treehouse, which is where they have developers, they have Nintendo staff that's all sitting in kind of a conference/news type format
right now.
Yeah, it's happening right now. We're filming this right now because we need to get to E3 now and actually see things, and we don't have time for rendering and video editing and stuff like that. So we're going to kind of wrap it up and get to E3.
Yeah,
we're going to have to fight the crowds, fight the lines, depending on where we're at this time in the day. And we'll try to get more Nintendo news for you. They do have a massive booth from what we hear. It's right across from Sony. Yeah, same exact size. Smash Brothers. Yeah, well, no, we actually had to get reservations to play Smash.
Oh, that's right.
And we registered, I think, 4 minutes after the start, and we missed out on reservations.
We'll get footage.
We'll try to get footage. We are in a standby wait list for Super Smash Brothers, so if something opens up, we potentially may have some media credentials for some other games, and potentially, while we get that credential, we might try to sneak in some Smash because we have credentials into Sony Activision stuff, and they're right across from each other. So if we see an opening, we're going to jump in, maybe do some Brawl. Yeah, Smash, Brawl? No, okay. Anyways, thanks for watching, folks. This should be available as a live event if you're watching now. It'll be available in our recordings later on, and we'll try, like I said, to get more Nintendo stuff for you at the conference itself.
Absolutely.
So thanks for watching, folks.
Thank you.